today's objective is to write function rules. So I can write function rules. We'll do this first warm-up part together. So describe the graph, well, you can say yes, inputs increase by 1, right? Your inputs are your x. So as it increases by 1, your outputs increase by what? What does it go up by? It looks like it goes up by 6. So you can use this information to figure out the cost of 8 tickets. So at 6 tickets, it's going to be what? It looks like this is 36. At 7 tickets, it's going to be what? You add 6. At 8 tickets, it looks like it's going to be around 48. So you can say it's going to be $48. Is the graph a function, yes or no? We learned the previous day about the vertical line test, right? Take a look at the graph. If you were to draw a vertical line at any point, it would only cross once. So it is, yes, a function. Why? You could say it passes the VLT. So this is primarily what today's lesson is going to be on, a function rule. Okay, a function rule is an equation that describes a relationship between the inputs and outputs. So for example, you'll be given the input is -2, output is -6. This is what you're going to come up with, the function rule. So in this case, the function rule is going to be y equals 3x. So let's take a look at this example right here. If I were to take a look at the relationship between x and y, how do I go from x to y for each of these examples? It looks like I'm being multiplied by 10 every single time, right? So if that's the case, your function rule is just going to be y equals 10 times x, right? Because how do I get the value of y? You multiply the value of x by 10 to get the value of y. Now let's take a look at example number 2. Is there anything that I can multiply by? I don't think so. So what else do you see here? It looks like I could add 16 every single time, right? So then your function rule is just going to be y equals x plus 16. Okay, number 3, take a look at the function rule. Okay, -1, but this is -2, so you can't use minus. Well, here's what you can do. You could do divide it by 2. Divide it by 2. Divide it by 2, divide by 2. So your y equals x divided by 2. Or you can write this as y equals x over 2. Right? Both of those are totally fine. Last but not least, in this case, looks like divided by 2. But this isn't divided by 2, so I guess that can't be my function rule. What other pattern do I recognize? It looks like it's being subtracted by 10 every single time. So this rule is going to be, this function rule is going to be y equals x minus 10. So basically you are looking at the pattern between your inputs and outputs. So that's how you do it from a mapping diagram. Here's what you're going to be able to do just by looking at an expression. So writing function rules, write a function rule for the output. Remember, the output is always going to be your y. Okay, your output is 5 less than the input. Okay, keyword for is means equal. Okay, keyword for less than is what? Subtraction. So it's going to be y is equal to something minus something. Well, you're left with 5 and input. But remember, if it's less than, this means switch the order. Input is your x, so it's going to be y equals x minus 5. Letter B, write a function rule for the output as the square of the input. Okay, output is y, is equal to the square of the input. Remember, square is just like a little exponent of 2. So this is what your function rule is then going to be. Okay, so why don't you do the next one on your own? And here's a very good reference that I would always try to use. These are going to be keywords. Okay, so other ways is add, other ways is subtract. multiply, divide, equal to, right? So this is going to be a really good reference sheet for all of you to utilize. Not all of the words that are on, like your homework or your skill checks, your quizzes and tests won't be all on here, but these are just many of the more common ways you can say these words. Okay, so I would refer back to this sheet quite often until you are very familiar with these expressions. Okay, so why don't you do this on your own, input your answer into Edpuzzle, and we'll move on. Okay, we'll do this one together. Output is y means equals 1/4 of, right? If you were to look for of is where? Of, well, I would add of here. Of is going to be multiplied, so 1/4 times x. You don't need to write the dot, you could write 1/4 x. That's totally fine as well. Okay, moving on, last example. What is the value of y equals 2x plus 5 when x equals 3? We've actually done this quite a bit. I think this was also review from earlier chapters. I forgot which one it was. Basically, all you have to do is plug in x for 3. So it's going to be y equals 2 times 3 plus 5. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 5. So I got y is equal to 11. Oh, I don't know why that looks like a 15. So y is equal to 11. Okay, why don't you do these next 2, 3, and 4 on your own? Put your answers onto Edpuzzle, and then you could begin on your homework. Okay, if you have any questions, you could reach out to me on Schoology, and I'll see you, and I'll be back the next school day. Okay, bye everyone.